afford a reality, one will be provided to you. It's the government's job to provide you with a reality if you cannot afford one for yourself. And let's be honest, not everyone can afford one. You're listening to James True, talking like Paul Harvey. Today, Wednesday, June 4, 5:08 p.m. post meridian. What does that mean? What does that mean? Tropic of sine wave. Hello, everyone. Imagine how long the show would take if we did that. It seems that I am still doing it now, even though I made it clear this would be quite a delay. What am I going to talk about, right? It's great to see you guys. Today's kind of a weird day, sort of in between. I was going to doing some back end stuff, doing some wrench stuff, doing some gear wrench stuff. Yeah, on the website and things like that. Just doing some busy work. Now that the book is done, doing some busy work, and I've already seen two pretty sweet reviews come in on the new book, Black Eye Club. I'm just saying. Those of you missing the beard, I hear you. I'm self-conscious about it, but man, my face is really clearing up. It's nice to be naked. It's nice. This is why we should do a radio show. But first, the news. If one cannot afford a reality, one will be provided by the government. Government, the mental statement of governance, the governing of the mind. You and I might think this is a conspiracy brought upon by a greater threat surrounding us all. And I'm okay with that. We just close the show. Yeah. You were surrounded by a greater threat larger than us all. And there's nothing you can do but be afraid. This is a reality provided to you if you cannot do your own. If you can create your own reality, you become a beyonder. You are a cosmologist. You become your own religion, your own church, your own business. It takes a while to get here. There are not many. There are not many around. You know who you are. But this coming online of your reality itself is a neocortexual dance, a fantasy provided for you in chemicals, and you distribute it. Oh, good. You distribute it into the world, and I think you call it vision. That's what I think. You heard me. I think you call that vision. I think you see things another way. So how do you see things? I wanted to talk a little bit about how you see things. I really do. First, I would like to briefly mention that I appreciate all my patrons. Appreciate everyone helping in the sense of being patient while I worked on this book. It's really been a lot of fun, a lot of hard work too. If you want a limited edition signed copy of this book, stamped and numbered, limited edition, you can get one here. I've just posted the link. Hope you don't mind a quick little sales tab there. But yeah, there's I'm gonna do a limited signing of 200 at this. So it'll be signed. It'll be stamped with a cool little number thing. And so if that's your kind of thing, if you're into that kind of thing, then you should check it out. Also, if you don't mind, I've added a few fun little things into the shop. I never talk about the shop, but I have added some fun things into it. I hope you'll consider checking it out. One of which is a t-shirt, Reptilian Overlords, Rule the Planet. It's available in green. I think you'll really dig it. I really do. I just posted a link in there. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. And if you've never bought my work before, if you've never purchased my work before, hey, why doesn't that work? It's supposed to tell you that it's even cheaper than that. You know what? Hey, that's a sign. That's probably a sign. Although, let me just really quick fix that. Guys, right now as I'm talking to you, I am lowering I do have a show. If you're new to me, I rarely do this, but I am doing some upfront. I'm just afraid I'm not going to mention this. We're going to get ready to have some fun. But if you've never purchased my books, because I've just announced this new edition of Black Eye Club, and you want to save some money, you can buy every single book in my collection, the entire library, for $99. And if you click on the second link that I just posted, that'll show you there. I just changed the price. Hit refresh if it still says $119. But that's on sale for right now. I'd like to try and sort of play catch up because I've done enough mustering, if you know what I mean. But when you're writing a book, it takes a lot of time. You lose track of things, and this is my way of catching up. Thank you for waiting. Thanks for being here at James True Live. It's great to be here. It's good to be back in the seat. Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back. This, yes, Illuminati confirmed. Thank you, Trevor B, for noticing. This, whole thing can be explained to you by saying the word transducer. I don't know how many of you even know what that word means. In fact, I don't want to mess this up, so we're going to do this on the fly. We're going to look at it together. Transducer is a device that converts energy from one form into another. That's its simplest definition of what a transducer is. Okay. And piezoelectricity, P-I-E-T-Z-O electricity, this force that I'm sure you're aware of, involves the compression of a crystal, and the compression, the force, the pressure of the crystal, only in a certain axis, only in a certain position, causes that compression to be converted directly into an electric signal. Additionally, because it's a transducer, it works backwards also. Meaning, if you were to find a one of these crystals and you were to zap it with electricity, it would showcase that in a pressure. It would exert a pressure. This is a two-way diode, a two-way communicado. Okay? You've got your avocados, and then you've got your communicados. Okay? This is a totally different version of fruit. Thank you very much. That's my first joke of the day. Hope you're enjoying that. But first, the news. How does one see without eyes? Ask your baby, ask your zygote, ask your blastocyst, ask yourself how you did it when you were an amoeba. You were in the ocean, smelling your way around a liquid universe, and that the smell became so precise that really, actually, let's even make it simpler. You learn to detect heat, and just like a snake flips out its tongue, oh, sneaky snake with the snake pants. Just like you flick out your tongue, just like you flick it out, just like a snake flicks it out and senses the environment, so too is that what your eye does. But your eye doesn't require you to flick itself out. But these are exactly the same organ. Did you know that? They're the same organ. They do fundamentally the exact same thing. One detects heat, the other detects heat. It's true. The first eye, the pineal, the eye that came before the eyes that you're looking at me now in, this is why I call it the first eye. That first eye, which some of us would know that there's sort of a frog that has a third eye on its head, and that this really was the first eye. Snakes do too, and that this thing is evolved into a much larger chemistry that's wrapped around it. In some cases, in some species, this ability to sense or see has been completely, I'm not going to say erased, but completely overwhelmed with other ways of sensing and seeing things. Other systems have come online that have become so much more complex that the first eye system of seeing starts to fall into a secondary category. And you, as someone who drives your car, may notice that you rarely ever lower the windows in the back right passenger seat. Probably never. You're cruising around like it's no big deal. Like, hey, it's no big deal. I don't know what happens if I press that lever. Some of you think that it doesn't work. You don't understand that when you flip that lever to lower the window, it does work, but it's working on another car somewhere else. And they're kind of freaking out because it's probably raining. But there could be a dog in the car. It's a Schrodinger's window button. We'll have to do a whole episode about that. However, when you come back to this idea of stepping into your equipment in the body and noticing that there's a subtle stereo surround button that you rarely can find, and if you click that, it sort of changes something, but you're not really sure. That's really what your first eye is doing. Your first eye is still seeing. It's still doing exactly what it was meant to do. A transducer is something that's going to send and receive, send and receive, send and receive. the human body sends and receives because it has only certain kinds of crystals shaped in certain ways, a very specific way, and those shapes are not only in a specific way, but as I said before, they're being pressed in a certain axis. If you imagine that you can kind of, like this, if I pressed you down like a button, right? It'd be like this, right? That's what would be going on versus this. And that only works one way. Doesn't work the other. You can't squeeze my head. You can't press my head frontwards and backwards. So it's the same thing. Energy is extracted. This is why we sleep, if you didn't know that. Electrochemically, if you lay down, you become no longer isolated from your ground. You become the ground itself. And then when you wake up in the morning and you rise and you balance yourself perfectly, which is pretty amazing, right? Between two little posts. Oh, look at that, balloons. Welcome to the balloons. Welcome show, little balloon break. So this is still going on. It's still happening, even though you're not using it. This is the point. This is the only point I'm trying to make. Is that even though you're not using it, it's still there. It's still there. And all this happens right here in the purple spot. This beautiful purple spot. Corpora arenaceae. The body's sand, a body of sand. A collection of sand, brain sand as it's called. Piezoelectric crystal, again, crystal solution that is shaped in a very specific way that doesn't allow it to be squeezed and have that converted or transduced into one of two ways. This is going to get confusing if you do not understand this is a two-way street. This is a transducer. This is going to be confusing. I think the best way of understanding how powerful it could be to have a sack of corpora arenaceae attached to your body directly under the carriage of your brain. That there is a reason why this exists this way. As you know, Rene Descartes found this organ, the pineal, fascinating because it was one of the few organs in the body that's not repeated, that's not in a pair. It is one of the few. There's actually many. But at least within the brain, that it is a unique structure. But it's also unique, forgive me for saying this again, but it's unique for another very special reason, in that it is outside of the electrical field of the brain. It is outside of this place. Something else interesting is that it is suspended in a liquid solution called the horns of your brain, your third ventricle. Your second ventricle, your first ventricle, your ventricle. These chambers of your brain have different shapes. Some of us have an eye directly through them that allows more passage of liquid. Others have chosen to compartmentalize themselves, and this area is squeezed off. This could be a reference to the bicameral brain. I'm just saying it could be, that the early evolution of our bicameral brain has actually caused us to literally burn a hole through the wall of our corpus callosum and burrow a liquid tunnel so that the left lobe and the right lobe can more easily contact or connect with itself through a liquid membrane. Liquid women brain. A liquid women brain. It's a membrane. We can call it that. This liquid membrane could be some sort of liquid microphone. And this, I believe, is when the fish grew on land. I don't need you to believe in evolution, but I need you to see how this works. As you become more complex as a code unwound invertebrate, if you have 117 witness ions, you're going to be able to manifest as a very large bumblebee, turns out. if you have 16 trillion witness ions, you're going to be able to render yourself as an elephant. Now, you and I, humans, we're in the billions. You know, we got a billion. We got about 3 billion, 3 kabillion. That's ka-billion. That's a billion, but it's also in the world of ka, so it's a little bit more. But it's a lot. But there's like 3 ka-billion witness ions inside your body. And so it develops a much more complex shape or vertebrate system or species or genus or phylum or all the other levels, right? So it kind of unwinds in this way. So if you were living in the ocean, you would need no liquid because the entire ocean is your liquid. So your eye, your first eye would just be boom, boom. We've talked about the kissing fish of Mexico. I hope you've seen that episode. It's a good one. But fish that are not born blind, these fish ain't got no eyes. They don't even have eyes. They don't even have eyes. And that they live in caves and they pucker their lips. And just by puckering their lips, they're seeing things, which is why I think this is so important. This brain sand is so important. I don't mind talking about it again. I think it's crucial. Crucial because none of us really understand what this thing does. We will argue, and I agree, I'm not here to discern, to say no to this. The pineal is a pubertuscan, I'm going to make up a term here. So pubertuscan dewinder. It is the secretional cycles of our puberty and season and our day-night. 3 cycles, 3 axes within each. If you think about it in XYZ, I want you to picture that ultimately the pineal is the eye of time. It's the eye of time. Time is unwound to the pineal in 3 cycles. Day and night, day and night. So as the sun comes up, your pineal is squeezed ever so slowly. And then as the sun goes down, it's unsqueezed ever so slowly. But then through each season, this cycle is squeezed ever so slowly for winter. And then ever so slowly expanded for summer, ever so slowly squeezed for winter, ever so slowly expanded as summer. This is 2 axes. There's your XY. Now, as each year unwinds, your chemistry, your body grows longer. You are long children. As you grow longer, your time eye is just unwinding. You're seeing your selfness, your Elohim, in time. And so the pineal is the eye that is showing you time itself. It's showing you this by releasing chemicals through a very complex, like super complex, sort of Ruth Goldberg device inside your brain where all these different chemicals are relying on each other. Some are playing Russian roulette. Others are literally just holding each other's hostage and inverting and causing a biochemical production that puts you into fucking puberty. That's how deeply this eye sees. This eye sees more than you and I think, are even processing, even like fitting into the Jenga of eternity. Now, I'd like to discuss with you the concept of beach compression, because so far all I've done is talk to you about that there's a sack of sand inside your head and that it's squeezed and let go and squeezed and let go. And that somehow I'm going to try and argue that you can fucking see the world from that. That's me. Welcome to Wednesday. This is an interactive matrix of memory that is used to show time itself unwinding in a real-time hallucinatorial atmosphere. This is the mankind's first clock. Seeing the tides itself gave us a liquid, tangible way of even understanding the causality of time. These things are teaching you the causality of time unfolding through ripples on the beach, through footprints through the sand, because they're a hallucination. This is why. It's because they are a hallucination that they render so perfectly causally. You are primarily looking to hallucinate a causal link between all things. You are building your own internal pithos, your own mind palace, your own central compressed chamber that says, if this is here and I'm pretending this is here, then whatever's on top of it, I'm going to have to be pretending that what's below it is there too. We build things from this. This is our sense of fantasy. And that the sense of fantasy, you're looking in the eye backwards by calling it fantasy, because what you're really doing is looking at the silver screen itself of hallucination and going, oh, why is that film there? Instead of looking at the silver screen and go, why is it silver? Like, forget about the pictures. Why is the screen silver? And when you're watching the movie, no one raises their hand and says, hey, the screen is silver. Why are we throwing light onto a silver screen? Now, beach compression, I think, is showing you the silver behind the screen, because every single grain of sand on the beach has something very special. It knows where it is. It fucking memorizes where it is. And so as the willets run up the beach and jab their joust into the sand and look for whatever it is they're looking for, as the footprints of people are walking up and down the shore, and as the water itself is collapsing and filling those footprints, you are watching grains of sand memorizing themselves and being able to be moved in real time. It is too much math for God to burn every single pixel of sand again as if it was the first time. It is better for each grain of sand to simply remember where it was and move according to a certain physic, a certain frame set of action. When you have a frame set of action, then you know that how much time has passed since the last time I was here? And the answer is roughly 120 frames per second, thought-wise. Roughly that. Which means that all the sand in the world, because of the speed of light, all of the sand in the world only has to be able to remember itself inside a spatial context that can only be moved by a certain distance divided by 120 frames per second. This is a way of showing a multiplayer world, but only having to memorize what's right in front of you. And that the matter that we have, the spatial world that we live in, the fact that you can take something and misplace it, you can place your keys somewhere and lose it, is showing you how this works. That placement itself is nature's computer. The 3D spatial part of this realm is the computer. You do not associate it as your computer, your personal computer, because you think it is reality. If you cannot afford your reality, one will be provided for you by the government. If you could listen to the beach and watch the footprints move up and down, you would slowly be able to look and learn simply by watching the footprints. You know how tall this person is, how many people is it a human, are they wearing shoes, are they barefoot, what's their fashion, what's their gait, how long ago was this, which footprints came first, which footprints came last. And as the water is washing up, it's all recording time itself, and you're just watching this engine work around you. Just because you close your eyes doesn't mean it's still not yours. You get to pull things off the shelves, right? You get to pull reality off the shelf because it's your computer. It's the system that you built to do this thing. It's not working against you. The resolution is so great. You got a new laptop. The desktop, it's got no fucking sides. And you're used to just saving shit on there, and yeah, you saved it there, way to go. And now you got to go find it. You got to go travel all over the world to look for a piece of you that's missing. And if you set up this relationship with your own computer by limiting your phonological loop, by limiting the 8 modes of consciousness we discussed last time, right? All these different standard protocols are shrank through lesser calories, your universe magically becomes something else. Why does it become something else? Because you have a flashlight and you can only see a 5-foot radius, but everything else is still there. Your focus, your witness is so powerful that you've separated yourself from the supercomputer that is nature itself. That the beach knows everything that happened to it. You would have to phrase the question exactly right. That you could get this data if you knew exactly how to ask. You probably don't believe me. If a dog peed on this beach, that urine would soak into some of those crystals, and those crystals would have a different affect, a different compression, a different pH than the rest. That pattern would look like the shape of that urine in the sand. These things would change, and if you could backwards engineer them enough, you would start to see things. You've seen the pictures of ancient video from, say, Paris in the 19th century, and their AI is telling you what each person's saying. That's the beach. This is speech compression. So why am I talking about this? Because the sand in your pineal is wired to your brain, which means that your brain is able to listen to an omnidirectional transducer, something in the military that's called a sonar dome. And that this sonar dome is giving you the ability to sense things that are so subtle, they're so freaking subtle, that you just can't hear them anymore. And that the first eye has been telling you every earthquake that's ever happened, that ever will happen, anywhere around the world. But that catfish is so quiet that we don't hear him anymore. But it's still there. The catfish is a pineal inverted. The catfish is living in cranial spinal fluid called a lake. The lake is a liquid computer. It's a liquid computer. You have freshwater computers, you have saltwater computers. And that the pineal of the fish itself, the electrical signature of its entire body, this is how schools of fish work. They work through electrical sight. I'm not talking about tetrachroma rods. I'm talking about the fish itself has an electrical field and he listens. This is why the school is so mesmerizing to watch a school of fish, and they all move at the same time. Same for birds. They are just following the electrical fields. It's no different than magnets. They're basically underwater magnets. They're pineals that are being squeezed by the pressure of each other. And the shape of that bag is learned over time. And the shape of that bag creates a very special signature. A ripple, a perturbation inside the water that could be looked at through 3 different methods. The exact same way sonar travels through the ocean: salination, pressure, temperature. The pH inside your ventricles and inside your spine is an ocean, a very deep ocean. It is deep. The pressure, from your CSF, from the base of your spine to the top when you are standing up, is different. It is a thermometer of pressure that goes all the way down. More so, did you know that the pores in your body, the holes in your body, and the follicles that come out of that holes are the same thing? They're exactly the same. And some of you have more collectors and some of you have more antenna, but both are doing the same thing. They're simply collecting through different means. The antenna is broadcasting a signal because of the spine of the follicle, the keratin of that follicle, by opposing itself, just like when you stand up in the ground, is creating an electrical conduit that directly enters into your nervous system and is felt somewhere on your spine. The CSF, the cranial spinal fluid, would be different in lumbar 3, lumbar 4. You and I have a concept of someone's looking at me. You can be in the room and you can feel it. Little prickles on the back of your neck. And those prickles, yes, prickles, ladies and gentlemen, those prickles on the back of your neck could be felt by your first eye, by your pineal. It could be. The submarine has no eyes. It navigates the world using a transducer. A transducer is surrounded in rubber. The pineal is surrounded in skin, flesh. It's this absorbent, insulating bag of electrical crystal, an eye that is pinged or squeezed. The transducer on the front of a submarine is squeezed by electricity, and that squeezing causes in active sonar, if you have a follicle, if you have a piece of hair sticking out, that is active sonar. And so the proverbial ping that you know on a submarine sound is only one kind of listening. It is the follicle itself ejecting itself from the skin, and it's pinging, it's putting out an electrical field, and the rest of the pores are not listening to that field. They're listening to the difference in that field. Every single musician doesn't listen to the field. They listen to how different they are from that field. Every person who's trying to discern if someone's telling the truth, you're looking at their body language, not to analyze their body language, but to look at the silver on the screen. In this case, what is the difference in their body language when they say something that could be a lie? This is subtle, fucking subtle signal. So subtle that if you cannot afford a reality where you can see these things, one will be provided for you, and it is. It has been. That reality is on the street. That reality denies that you can even see the signals that you and I are talking about now. That's how different it is. That's how different it is. This idea that someone's watching you is part of cortical blindness. It's this conceptual notion that there is an ancient pathway of sight that's still inside your brain, that's still interpreting, that's still signaling things, and it's still seeing. There is a macular vision, which we've discussed, which is you're looking specifically at something, but then there's your peripheral vision. And if you know that there are certain times where someone startles you, it startles you. It actually isn't startling for you because someone has surprised you. Believe it or not, what's probably happening is that your ancient pathways have seen something before your modern pathways have. And because of that, that fucking startles you. It startles you so much that it's quite possible that you could be living inside of your brain, inside of this transducer, pinging information, and the most valuable information you could possibly imagine is trying to electrically inform you through your pulse. Through your pulse. And every time your heart beats, what happens? It squeezes the pineal. It squeezes the pineal. It squeezes the pineal. And when it lets go, the pineal's listening. It's listening to not the signal, the difference in signal from what we knew before. This is beach compression. This is all you need. You could practice this listening and literally create a biospatial hallucinatory map of the entire fucking world. And if you don't believe me, I want you to please buy me a ticket. We will go to the Mexican caves. We will go snorkeling there. And we will find these kissing fish. Or you could just Wikipedia it, honestly. You could just Wikipedia it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You also could, I'm just saying, you really could try this Reptilian Overlords are Ruling the Planet t-shirt. You could do that too. Guys, this is really who you are. It's this liquid consciousness, a supercomputer made out of Gatorade. You know, you got dolphins and bats. You got snakes. You're not alone. All of these things have been using this kind of thinking for a long time. And that's why I think the ocean is more alive than we think. I think the ocean is profoundly more alive than we could possibly imagine. And that simply tracking the bioluminescent change of these subtle fields, just this subtle beach compression, some of the most subtle energy in the world, believe it or not, it's taking you back into the first sun, the jaguar sun, the subtle sun. The sun where, think about how much discernment you lose when the sun comes up. You lose a lot of signal then, don't you? I mean, it's necessary, right? But think of how much we lose. Now, we're in a new revolution. We're entering into a spectrum that's quite frankly profound in the sense of how we discern things now versus how we used to. We're calling the people that discern more colors crazy right now, but they're not. They're not crazy. Actually, just showing you that the subtle signals are still there. This is what shamanism is. More importantly, this is what your intuition is. Your intuition has been saying this the whole time, guys. Excuse me, the whole time. It really has. It really has. Hey, if you guys, someone said you only have $20. Hey, I'll still take it. You could buy my book on Amazon right now. You can buy it there, and it's a good deal right now. Actually, it's probably the cheapest you'll ever find. So if you don't want the limited edition, which is pretty cool, have a limited numbered edition, you can still actually just get that book on Amazon right now. It's got a beautiful cover. Imagine that on your shelf. That'll look good. Nice thick book by James True. Black Eye Club, first installment. Good story. I think you'll enjoy it. So these different kinds of life forms have the same sort of first eye perception, and I think you probably have it too. It's so screwed up that we're calling it the third eye. I don't mind just doing that. I really don't, but it is kind of a bummer. I think we're really going out of our way to make sure this thing is as far away from us as possible. Let me see. What more notes today? New website's up. I already told you that. I've been working on a lot of back end stuff. So I told you about the circadian rhythms, so you know about that. I told you how similar these guys are in the sense of sonar and the pineal site. The ancient pathways. Believe it or not, your optic nerve has a lower chamber that it used to use. Yeah, like your peripheral, I guess we'll call it that, used to kind of be listening in a different way, but then we were like, hey, let's create an occipital lobe. Let's draw it all the way in the back of a brain. Let's put it as far away as we can from our eyes. This is why I think your eyes are actually more based on the neocortex upgrades. When you started to see into the future, you're going to need eyes to process all these things. It's really profound. Keep in mind that your retinas are generating. Most of your dopamine is coming from the retinas. This is why you need beauty to survive. The more beauty you have, the more processing power you have. Did you know that? It's true. The more beauty you have in your world, the more dopamine that you are able to monergically pull without your amygdala saying, shut it off, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the chemtrails. Think about the people that can't see the sky. This is why I say this is a rendered accurate hallucination. But people get mad. They're like, how dare you call it hallucination? I'm like, because I'm telling you this is what reality is. And if you're not pulling the amount of retina from the sky itself, this is important. It's important that someone tell you these things. It's important that you see how important it is that you can actually pull more dopamine from the sky. Your eyes are hallucinating perfectly. Do you understand? They're hallucinating perfectly. I cannot think of a better way to explain this all than in my book, Black Eye Club. Seriously, it nails all of this stuff. It's completely bulletproof, this story. Explains how this works, how fast this can get out of hand, how much we're truly probably missing in the sense of aura, in the sense of electrical intuition, that all these things will eventually be seen when we stop to atrophy our own sense of smell, and we can actually render the signature of scent, vibe, malamu into our retinal walls and not freak the fuck out. Once we can do that, we are seeing Hades. We are seeing the unseen, the hidden world of things. Highly recommend you check out the book. Months and months and months of work went into that. Special thanks to my patrons for even allowing that to happen, and more importantly, allowing it to be sold for such a competitive price right now. This is a really good deal for this book. So $16.99. So you should get it. It's also available on Kindle. The audiobook should be there too. The AI did that, but the voices are really good. Let me know what you think though. And I'm going to sign off for now. We're getting back into full shows again. Wanted to do one today, so this is what you got. Sort of a partial show. Hope you enjoyed it though. Prana Overload, thanks for the electricity. Thank you, Mr. C. Thanks for being here. Hi, Ginger Grin. Good to see you. A Trinity vibes, indeed. The Trinity with your two eyes and then the one. This is really cool, isn't it? This sounds like it's tied in with Death Stranding by Hideo Kojima. I will have to look that up, Nate. Those are a lot of words there that I don't understand. Death Stranding. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Stretch, good to see you. Thanks for buying the book. Raina, I grabbed 2 special limited. Oh, right on. Thank you so much, Raina. Thanks for the support. Appreciate all the support. Guys, thanks for making what I do possible. I appreciate it. And we will be back into normal schedule, I think. Definitely see you Friday. Might even see you tomorrow. I don't know. You know, comments help. Comments always make shows come more. That is true. So it's something that you check out. I was going to consider doing like a post dojo show today, but I actually better not. I actually think my brain is tired. I've been doing DNS uploading to GitHub, but then having Hugo to GitHub, then GitHub to Cloudflare. It's easy, but only if you've practiced it a lot. Just trying to get everything. This new website is up. Guess what? All my old work is now gone. It's gone. The only way you can preserve it now is buying my books. It's the only way. So maybe we'll start bringing some of the older stuff back. So, did you guys know I used to be a cartoonist? I didn't say I was a good one, but yeah, I used to be a cartoonist, and there's some of those are in there. So yeah, if there are people here, let me just see something here. I need to see if I can work this out. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, guys. I'm gonna see if you guys don't mind, this could be a little bit informal. I want to see if we can open this up. If there are people in here, I'm going to tell them that we're live. I want to see if I can make this Zoom
recording in progress.
Oh, okay. There's actually no one's in here. So yeah, that's fair. I didn't really give anyone much notice anyway. But eventually, I think we'll start working it out where we can start doing more interactive shows and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great day. Remember the Alamo, and consider buying one of those books or a t-shirt. If you buy a t-shirt, let me know. I really want to see that. I think that's cute. We might add more. There's other ideas. We're always coming up with crazy t-shirt ideas that might be fun. So but more importantly, more content's on the way. Got a lot to cover. A lot of things that I learned about Africa that I think really have a heavy application when it comes to consciousness, evolution, and this world, what reality actually is, things like that. So, yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks.